to my office. Let me give you a tour. So this is my office that I have been working on for the last 8 months, and I am so happy with the way it's turned out. It has gone through 2 different redesign ideas, and I'm so happy with where I'm at today, and I cannot wait to tell you guys the story of how it became what it is today. Now, like I said, this room has been through 2 redesigns. Initially, when I went into redesigning this room, I thought about kind of having this space not being a bedroom anymore, but rather it just being my office. And I quickly learned that that was just not going to be something that was plausible for me. I had convinced myself that I didn't need the bed in here because I rarely had guests. And then I have guests coming literally every single month of the entire year. So I needed just a space for them to be, but I wanted a space that was also for me and a space that reflected my personality and my interests, and most of all, a place that I just really love to be. When you walk into my room, I feel like the first thing that you see is my bookshelves. Well, I don't feel like it. It probably is the first thing you see when you walk into my room. So the first time I was working on this redesign, I was considering just having this be an office space where I would just have tons and tons of books, because I have a book podcast and I wanted to have kind of like a background that reflected reading books. Also, I had a ton of books that were on just these 2 smaller shelves here, and I was quickly running out of space, so I really needed a bigger one, so I ended up getting this larger bookcase here. So these bookshelves have not moved since the first redesign because I just really like the way they look in this corner. I kind of made it so that they were a little rounded. The only thing is I wish I had like little tape or like strands or something that could go in between the bookshelves that made them look a little bit more cohesive, but I haven't been able to find anything that I think would look nice. I know I could do like white tape, but I'm afraid that the white will be just like a little bit off and it won't look right, so I'm just leaving it as is for now. I was really struggling with how to design the bookshelves, and I'm not 100% in love with the way that they are now, but I think that this is the absolute best I can get it at the moment. So like I said, I initially wanted this room to be just an office, and I wanted it just to be an office because I have a podcast with my best friend, and this is where I sit for the podcast. I'm just sitting on the floor, I've got my books behind me. It's very simple. Something else I had to consider when figuring out where I wanted my background to go was the natural lighting aspect. Now, I have a giant window here, and it is facing that wall over there. And I wanted to put my bookshelves over there, but it just wasn't gonna work if I wanted to bring the bed back in here and also have my desk. So I had to opt for putting these bookshelves in this corner here. But I was thinking, what would be a way that I could get some of this natural light to hit me over here? And I was like, mirrors. I could just put up a mirror. You know, the mirror will catch the light and reflect it, and it will kind of reflect back onto me. So that's what we've got going on now. Also facing the doorway here, so I am able to get the lighting from the hallway. Plus, I also have a ring light that I use to illuminate myself even more. But I like the way that I'm set up now. It's very easy. There's like not a lot of cleanup I have to do. I actually have like a second laptop that I use for recording on, and it makes everything just so much easier to like manage and maintain. So something else that I wanted to mention is this little setup here. So these plants actually came from my kitchen. I've had this one for 3 years. It is clearly thriving. It's a desert plant though, so it's a little bit of cheating. But anyway, I wanted to move some of the plants out of my kitchen just because I was starting to get overwhelmed by the amount in there. So I brought some of my desert plants into this room, and I made like this little setup here, and I think that it is so cute. I really love the vibes. It was like a secondary thought. I had this plant stand already, and I had this already from a large plant that had to be repotted, and I just really love the way it turns out. So next up, let's talk about this bed. Now this was like one of the hardest parts for me, was trying to figure out the kind of bedding that I wanted to have in here. There was a couple of things I needed to keep in mind. One, I needed it to be really easily washable because my dogs lay on this bed when there's nobody staying here. and they're gross. Dogs are gross. So I needed something that could be easily washable. I also needed something that was going to be lightweight because a lot of my guests visit during the summertime and I live in Las Vegas, so it's really, really hot here. And third, of course, I wanted it to be cute and I wanted it to be kind of colorful. Now, when I was designing the color scheme for this room, I knew I wanted to have something that encapsulated my personality. And because of that, I knew that I needed to incorporate pinks into this room. I also knew that I wanted it to be kind of bright and airy and fun, and I wanted it to stand out from other parts of my house because my house is north facing, so it's really, really dark in here most of the time, but this room is so bright. And I just wanted it to be a place that I liked to be. The bedding that you're seeing behind me, the white and the colored, and also that pillow in the back, it is all from Target. So Target was the first place that I actually looked, and I found these bed sheets, but I didn't really see any of the comforters or anything that I could find that I felt like fit my needs. So I looked at Home Goods, I couldn't find anything there either. And then I checked Amazon, and Amazon had a cute quilt that was a lightweight quilt, and it was from a company that I had already bought from in the past, and I bought it and the color was completely wrong. It came the exact color of my walls and it just looked like one giant blob of beige. So I returned it and I was really frustrated because I was like, I need to get bedding for this. Like, where can I find some cute bedding? And I went back onto Target's website this time and I saw this bedding. And it was actually paired in the photos with the sheets that I had gotten. And I was like, that bedding, it's so cute and it already matches, and I know it matches because I see it in this photo. So I ended up going to a different Target, buying it there, and they also had this cute green pillow that matched perfectly with the bed sheets. So I got that as well. And lastly, of course, I did end up getting a bed frame for this bed. Now, prior to the first redesign, I did not have a bed frame for this bed. The bed frame was like relatively inexpensive. It was, I think, $90. There's tons of space underneath for storage. I actually store my walking pad underneath here, and whenever guests come, they have enough room to put their suitcase underneath there if they want to. It's pretty comfortable, and it has a ton of like little slats underneath it, so you don't have to worry about it falling through. And that's something I have had a lot of experience with bedroom furniture. It's just like the slats not being sufficient enough to hold up the weight of a person. Okay, now we are here at the gallery wall that I have made. I am so happy with the way that this turned out. This was actually my inspiration for this whole bedroom. Everything that I did to this room, all of like the decorations and the color schemes came secondary to this. My boyfriend had gotten me this Great Gatsby poster for Valentine's Day and I loved it. It was really cute and I was like, you know what? I want to incorporate that into this bedroom. I want to make that like a focal piece of this room. I used the lips of this poster to choose the paint color of these two shelves. They were originally white. I painted them this color. For the hardware for each of these shelves, I wanted to do something kind of mix-matchy because I like the look of a mix-match situation going on here. So the hardware for both of those shelves is from World Market, and this shelf is my favorite because it is so cute. Just like the little roses that are on there, the little floral pattern, it is so cute and fun and different. And I feel like it kind of adds just like a little touch of like myself in here. I really just love the way that it looks. I saw them on their website and I went to go buy them. The thing is that when you buy them, they smell like butt. They do not smell good at all. But the smell comes out really, really quickly. You don't even have to wash them, just let them air out. I think it's like a cardboard smell, but it smells really bad. But these ones here are just like a plain shelf moment, just like very basic hardware. And I think that the two of them, their colors are very similar, so they look really nice together. And the color, the pink shelves, I love them. Now, the reason why I chose two shelves is because I had an idea for them. One was to take all of my Harry Potter books, which, yes, I know J.K. Rowling sucks, but I love the books, okay? I wanted to display them. And I thought, you know, I'd get maybe some bookends, and then I would get like a plant, and I'd use my little moon lamp, and that is exactly what I got to do. My boyfriend got me these bookends for my birthday and I love them. They're so beautiful. They're just like Hogwarts and they're gold and they're cute and they hold up my books and it looks so nice up there. I also wanted to display my degrees. Now I only have a frame for my bachelor's degree, which is why the only degree you see up there is my bachelor's degree. I have my master's degree in an envelope on the floor next to where I was sitting earlier. And that's fine though, because I think that having 2 degrees up there might be a little too much. But I have my 1 degree up there, and then I have a couple of books on display, and then I have a candle, which I never light because I feel like it's kind of dangerous to light it over there. Now, this part of the wall was kind of a little bit of like a last minute idea. Now, I have this mirror that I got a couple years ago when I first moved into this house, and it's kind of been sitting in a closet for a couple of years because I just had no idea what to do with it. And it finally has a purpose, and that is to reflect light onto me for the podcast. And then finally I have this bee that I got at Anthropology. I went onto their home site and I found this guy here, and well, girl, it's bees. Most of the bees that you see are girls. I found this little girly here, and she lives there now. She lives on my wall and she's really cute, and she just adds a little bit of me to the room. And I think that this adds enough brightness to this room that it doesn't feel so beige, because since I was not able to paint the walls in this room, I still wanted it to be colorful. So I feel like this does a good job. Let me just duck down. Do you see that? I feel like that does a good job of like adding color to this room, and I really like the way that it looks. So then the last part of this room is my desk. Now, I wanted a sit-stand desk so bad. I ended up getting a walking pad for my birthday from my boyfriend, and I bought this desk a couple of months prior. The desk that I got is a little bit of a jack desk because it is 2 different IKEA desks that I combined into one. I had bought one of those really cheap IKEA desks that were just legs and a table that were probably, what, $70? But then I wanted to add the legs to it. And I had thought that the legs that they sell at IKEA that are just legs were gonna work with any tabletop. That is incorrect. So I ended up buying legs that did not fit with this table. But you know what? I know how to use a drill. I know how to use tools. So I ended up, putting together the desk by myself, and then I screwed in the legs to the desktop. So it's not a perfect match, but it works fine. I have had 0 issues with it. There's been nothing that has ever concerned me at any point about my stuff falling over. So I'm pretty happy with it. It was a hack, I saved about $100. So during the first remodel is when I did the sit-stand desk. I had already had this Alex drawer moment for the top of my desk, and it was white, and I had always had the idea of painting it some other color because it was just a lot of white, and while it looks clean, it just wasn't a lot of fun to look at. So I decided to paint this the same color as the shelves, and it has held up pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, it's not perfect. There are a little bit of spots that have, peeled off because IKEA furniture is laminated, but it's like teeny tiny, tiniest little specks of places. So I think that it turned out really nice. It adds a little bit of color to the area. Also, I have a cork board behind my desk. It's a giant cork board. My idea for this has kind of faltered a little bit because I was originally thinking that I was going to use this a lot more than I actually do, because I write myself notes on sticky notes a lot and then I lose them because it blows away in the wind that's generated from my fan. So I haven't used it as much. I have a couple of things up here that you can see, but definitely not anything like I thought I was going to have. So it's a little excessive, but you know what? If it ever comes to a time when I need to brainstorm something, I can do that without putting a bunch of holes into my wall. And I really wanted to work on cable management because there's nothing more than I hate than cables. They're so ugly. Like, why are they black? Let's make them clear. Let's make wires clear. That'd actually be kind of dangerous, but you get my point. They're ugly to look at. At some point, you just have to accept that if you have a computer, you're gonna have cables. But I feel like I did a pretty decent job of trying to cover up most of them. There is a bunch that used to hang from the top of my desk, and since this is a sit-stand desk, I needed to added cable management because it was just going to be too much to have cables constantly moving up and down, and the way that I did it, I feel like I did a great job. So the last part of the room that I want to talk about is my rug. It is very small. I wish I would have gotten it in like one size bigger because just it's so small, but I think that it adds some color to this room that it didn't have before, and I think it adds some warmth. This room also used to be really echoey, but now that I have a rug in here and the bed back in here, this room doesn't have that echo that it used to have. So that is the end of the tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like the room, let me know. I would love to do more videos like this in the future. I have a bunch of other rooms in my house that need some love and attention. Also, like I mentioned, I have a podcast, so if you want to go watch my podcast, it's me and my best friend. We talk about the different romance books that we've read, and it's fun. It's kind of silly, so if you want to go over there, I will leave a link to it in the description below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching, and by the way, thank you guys again so much for helping me create this space, because I literally could not have done it without you all. Like, I seriously could not have done it without your viewership or your support of this channel. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!